Have you ever wondered why some people seem to carry a different kind of energy? They walk into a room and people notice them. Not because they are the richest, the smartest, or the most famous, but because something about them feels different. Their confidence speaks before they speak. Their discipline introduces them before they introduce themselves. Their character leaves an impression long after they are gone. The truth is, those people were not born that way. There was a time when they doubted themselves, felt lost, and questioned their worth. There was a time when nobody believed in them. There was a time when they looked in the mirror and saw someone they wanted to change. But instead of waiting for life to become easier, they chose to become stronger. Instead of asking for a better future, they worked to become a better person. Most people want success. Most people want respect. Most people want a meaningful life. But very few people are willing to improve themselves every single day until growth becomes a habit and that habit becomes an identity. The greatest transformation happens when self-improvement is no longer something you do occasionally, it becomes who you are. Stop chasing results and start becoming the person who creates them. Many people focus on outcomes. They want the promotion, the money, the recognition, the applause. But they forget that every result is a reflection of the person behind it. If you want a different life, you must first become a different version of yourself. A stronger life requires a stronger mindset. A successful future requires successful habits. You cannot continuously think like the old version of yourself and expect a completely different reality. Growth begins the moment you stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "Who do I need to become?" Every day gives you an opportunity to shape your character. Every challenge is a chance to become more patient, more disciplined, more resilient, and more focused. The goal is not simply to achieve something. The goal is to become someone. When your identity changes, your actions change naturally. And when your actions change consistently, your results begin to follow. Fall in love with daily improvement. Most transformations are invisible at first. That is why so many people quit. They work hard for a few days, see no immediate results, and convince themselves that nothing is changing. But life does not reward intensity as much as it rewards consistency. A tiny improvement repeated every day becomes a massive transformation over time. The strongest trees do not grow overnight. The deepest rivers are not formed in a day. Imagine becoming just a little better every single day. Reading a few pages, learning a new skill, improving your communication, controlling your emotions, building healthier habits. These small actions may look insignificant today, but they are quietly shaping the person you are becoming. The people who inspire the world are rarely those who made one giant leap. They are usually the people who refused to stop taking small steps forward. Let pain become your teacher, not your excuse. Every person carries scars. Every person has experienced disappointment, failure, rejection, heartbreak, or loss. The difference is not in what happened to them. The difference is in what they decided to do with those experiences. Some people allow pain to define them. Others allow pain to refine them. The moments that hurt the most often contain the lessons that change us the most. Difficult seasons reveal strengths you never knew existed. They teach patience when you want immediate answers. They teach courage when fear surrounds you. They teach resilience when giving up seems easier. Your struggles are not always obstacles. Sometimes they are classrooms. Sometimes life breaks your comfort zone because your potential is waiting on the other side of it. Instead of asking why something happened to you, ask what it is trying to teach you. That question can transform suffering into growth. Build a reputation with yourself. One of the most important relationships in your life is the relationship you have with yourself. Every promise you keep strengthens your confidence. Every promise you break weakens your trust in yourself. Many people want others to believe in them while constantly proving to themselves that they cannot be trusted. They say they will wake up early, but they don't. They say they will work on their goals, but they postpone them. Over time, their own mind stops believing their words. Self-confidence is not built through positive thinking alone. It is built through evidence. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you create evidence. Every time you stay committed despite difficulties, you create evidence. Become the person who does what they say they will do. Build a reputation for consistency in your own eyes. When you trust yourself, the world begins to see that confidence too. Make growth your identity. There comes a point where improvement stops feeling like a task and starts feeling like who you are. That is the level most people never reach because they stop too soon. Imagine becoming the kind of person who naturally seeks growth. A person who learns from mistakes instead of hiding from them. A person who welcomes challenges because they know challenges create strength. A person who constantly asks, how can I become better than I was yesterday? When growth becomes your identity, failure no longer scares you because you know every setback contains a lesson. Criticism no longer destroys you because you know every piece of feedback contains an opportunity. You stop measuring yourself against other people and start measuring yourself against your previous self. Your competition becomes the person you were yesterday. Your mission becomes continuous improvement. And that is where true transformation begins, not when you achieve a goal, but when growth becomes part of your character. Protect your mind like your greatest asset. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts. Every action begins as a thought, every habit begins as a decision, and every transformation begins with a belief. That is why one of the greatest forms of self-improvement is learning to protect your mind from negativity, doubt, and unnecessary distractions. Many people spend years trying to change their circumstances while allowing toxic thoughts to control their mindset. They consume negativity every day and then wonder why they feel unmotivated. They compare themselves to others and then question their own worth. They focus on what is missing instead of appreciating what is possible. A mind filled with fear cannot create a future filled with confidence. You must become selective about what enters your mind. Be careful about the conversations you entertain, the content you consume, and the people whose opinions you value. Not every voice deserves access to your thoughts. Some voices inspire growth, while others quietly destroy belief. The strongest people are not those who never face negativity. They are those who refuse to let negativity take control. Feed your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and hope. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to ideas that expand your perspective. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your potential instead of your limitations. The person you become tomorrow is heavily influenced by what you allow into your mind today. Protect your mind, and you protect your future. Become unrecognizable through growth. Imagine meeting the version of yourself from 5 years ago. What would that person think about who you are today? Would they see growth? Would they see courage? Would they see wisdom? Or would they see someone who is still waiting for life to change? The purpose of self-improvement is not to remain the same person with bigger goals. The purpose is to evolve. The greatest compliment you can receive is not that people recognize you, it is that they are amazed by how much you have grown. Growth should make your old limitations look unfamiliar. Too many people hold on to outdated versions of themselves. They continue carrying old fears, old excuses, old habits, and old beliefs. They cling to an identity that no longer serves them. But growth requires letting go. You cannot become a stronger person while constantly returning to the mindset that kept you weak. Give yourself permission to outgrow your past. Outgrow the doubts that once controlled you. Outgrow the habits that once distracted you. Outgrow the fear that once stopped you. Keep learning, keep evolving, and keep becoming. Let your dedication to improvement be so strong that one day people look at your journey and cannot believe you are the same person. Not because you changed your appearance, but because you transformed your mindset, your character, and your entire way of living. In the end, the world remembers people who transformed themselves before they transformed their circumstances. They were not defined by where they started, but by who they became, through consistent effort, relentless learning, and unwavering discipline. Every day, you choose growth over comfort, responsibility over excuses, and action over procrastination. You are building a new identity. Not an identity based on appearances, but one built on character, resilience, and purpose. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation to arrive. Start improving yourself today, one habit, one lesson, one decision at a time. Because the ultimate goal is not to become successful for a moment. The ultimate goal is to improve yourself so consistently, so relentlessly, and so intentionally that growth becomes your identity and excellence becomes your standard.